Hello, learning birds. This is Mr. Buffington here, and we are going to look at our Excel lesson on freezing rows and columns. This is not when we make them very cold or we put ice cream up to our monitors, but it is a way that we can look at and make actually useful information out of huge spreadsheets. So to do that, I had to fill in a lot of information here, make up a bunch of stuff, just to kind of illustrate my point here. What does this word brown mean down here? We have no idea. It represents a person who's listed in the first column, and it represents something that's listed in column H, but we don't know which person is on row 14 and which item is on column H. So we would have to scroll all the way back up here to the top and go, oh, that's hair color. Okay. And then you scroll all the way back down again and you're like, which one was it? I think it was 14. That's Catwoman's hair color there. Okay, great. So to avoid having this kind of confusion, what you can do is something called freezing rows or freezing columns. In the View tab, I just went back to Home. In the View tab, you can see here that there is freezing panes. You can freeze the top row, and you see that there's a black line underneath there. That means that when I scroll down, that first row will remain the same. Notice I stopped filling in information after a while. I didn't get Darth Vader's favorite food. Sorry, guys. But underneath that, you can see that now I will always know when I get down to a color here what it represents. Blue is my eye color. Okay. But I want to also know who that belongs to. So I could go maybe freeze the first column. But when I did that, you notice that this black line here just does the first column. So if you want to just have the first column stay the same while you scroll back and forth left to right, then you can do that. But if I want to have both that first column and the first row, then I have to do something a little bit different. What you do is you go down to an open cell that is underneath the row that you want to get frozen and to the right of the column that you want to get frozen, and then you select Freeze Panes. Now you'll notice that it froze the row above and the column to the left. If I wanted to freeze multiple rows, if I went to this one here, it would freeze the top 3 rows and the first 2 columns, columns A and B. So that's basically how it works. So for us now, I can scroll this way, go down to that brown and see that it is Captain Ahab's hair color is brown on this thing that I made up. All right, so now you can see how that works. We can get that information inside the spreadsheet and be able to make sense of it. If we now needed to go down here and fill in Hermione Granger's eye color, we would be able to do that and find exactly where that information was. All right, so that's the advantage of, or some of the uses for, freezing cells. Now you can also, I'm going to unfreeze the cells and show you one more thing that you can do, which is similar to freezing cells, only you have a little bit more freedom. See down here, there's that little tiny rectangle. If you scroll this over, it's going to basically do the same thing. You can scroll right and left over here, just like you could with the frozen frame, only you can also scroll this one back and forth. It's called splitting the screens, or splitting cells, or splitting your visible area there. Okay, and that makes it helpful. You can do that from the top down as well. And so you have information here that you can scroll down, and so you can see all of that information just like you would with a frozen row or column, except that you can then go into these ones and actually scroll back and forth. There are some uses for both, so I just wanted to show both of those options. Again, for freezing frames, you want to freeze both the rows and the columns. Just go below the row that you want to freeze and to the right of the column that you want to freeze. Click Freeze Panes, and then you'll have both, and you can scroll to your heart's content and have an idea of what it is you're looking at. Hope that video was helpful for you. Have a wonderful day, learning birds.